Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to wait a little bit until more people are joining. A few minutes. Let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Ivan. Today we're going to talk about how to be great leaders. What does it take to be a great leader? So I'm looking forward for this conversation as I believe it's one of the most important we can have nowadays, to just really connect with that energy of how to be a great leader to other people, or what if we are not leaders ourselves and maybe we seek leadership externally, then how to identify someone that has good leadership. Okay, so either you are a leader or someone in your life is a leader that you look up to. This can be for you. So looking forward. We're still gonna wait a little bit more to see if more participants will join, and then we're gonna dive deeper into this. Meanwhile, let me know where are you from in the chat. Let me know where are you tuning in from, which part of the world you come from. Los Angeles, amazing. What's your name, me? If you want to share, obviously. Cody, awesome. Cool, nice to have you here. Ivan, where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? What part of the world? Or Ivan, I don't know, depends. I- USA, so then Ivan, okay. Ivan can be in Russian too, so awesome. Um, all right, we have a few more people that join. Av Avinash is from Trinidad and Tobago. Amazing. All right, I'm on the same time zone with you guys. I'm in Costa Rica. I live here for the last 2.5 years. I'm not Costa Rican, but I am living here. I'm from Romania, and I'm a mix between Romanian, German, and Greek. And I don't live in Europe for many years now. Uh, I live on I lived in Bali for 4 years. Now I live in Costa Rica for 2.5 years. And yeah, spreading the gifts while exploring at the same time the planet. Everywhere my soul feel called to go. Okay. All right, guys. So I think we can go into this. We can dive into this. Okay. So leadership. Oh, we have another person. Oh, by the way, if any of you wants to share their videos or a picture or something with your face, that would be highly appreciated because it's really good to see who we are connecting with. And yeah, feel a little bit the energy. I'm seeing Chi in Gwen. I'm seeing a little bit of video there. If not, if you don't want to share, no problem at all. It's just an invitation. Okay, guys. So let's dive a little bit deeper into leadership because, as I shared, leadership is one of the main things that we, especially where we are right now on the planet, because I believe there's like it's so much leadership that is not in alignment with our well-being and highest intentions in as people, right? There's always like different interests in political and economical and financial and so on and so forth. So hey Cody, nice to see you. So yeah, it's a topic, right? Like how can we be great leaders? Either we are men or women, we all have this quality within. I believe that uh men lead differently than women, but we all have this quality to be leaders, to be um in a way at service. That's what actually leadership is. It's not like we are ruling and dominating and conquering. It's more like we are at service because that's what we feel that is in alignment. And I'm going to dive deeper into this in a moment. Okay. More people are joining. Beautiful to see. Cody is at work, so tuning in as I can. We'll be hopping on and off. All right, man. Sounds good. Cool. Yeah, so leadership. Uh, I want to see what does leadership means for you, first of all. So if you guys want, share in the comments there in the chat. What does leadership means for you in a small sentence or in a word even? Just put it out there and see. I want to share where you guys are at with it, okay? So let's see. Cody says presence. I love that. Mhm. Yes. Virginia says, hi, Virginia. I think it just came. You just tune in meanwhile here. Transcendence. Amazing. Yeah, I can see how that word can actually reflect leadership as well. Avina says guiding. Amazing. Beautiful. Yeah, I like it. I like that, we all have different perspectives or whatever is alive for us in this moment because it can only change. It can always change and it depends on what we are navigating in life, really. And there's so much to share about leadership. So this is good to see in a world where you guys are at. Okay, now I want to share with you really what does it mean to be a great leader for myself, for my own experience, for me being a leader in many ways, in many communities, in general, I have this leadership quality. So also, while I was tuning in into the collective consciousness of humanity and what does what the planet needs as a leader right now in these times, more so, right? Like what does it mean to be a leader in these times? Because in different times there's a different meaning, right? Like if you think about it 2000 years ago or so, you needed to know how to be a warrior too, because there was so much war going on the planet. Now is less need of that. There's other needs. So right now on this planet, for me, how to be a great leader. First, so I have 5 points that I want to mention here. So first point is self-love. So you have to know how to love yourself. You have to develop that great relationship with yourself to be your best friend. Because you cannot lead from an empty cup. You simply can't. It's impossible. You need to be in overflow. And as a leader, you don't have to rely on other people's validation in loving you. You have your cup full, right? You know who you are, you know what you're made of, more or less, and you can give that love to yourself. You don't requiring from the other world. I would say that people who seek for love externally, they still have some things to heal inside, right? Of course, we receive love from the outside, But we receive it at best when we love ourselves and we show up for who we are, for what we are, uh, passionate about, for simply holding ourselves, become our great or our best friend. Because, like it or not, we are stuck with ourselves forever. So we might as well love everything about ourselves, even our dark sides, even things that are uncomfortable and difficult, and sometimes we don't like to look at. I have a saying. It's like, love yourself even when you don't love yourself. That's when you know that you love yourself, even when you're not able to show up for yourself and love yourselves in those moments where you're really depressed. You still maybe hold that energy of, okay, this is gonna pass. This is a moment. This is a time, and you have to be able to do that. If when you hit rock bottom, or when you hit the wall, or where you are, I don't know, for whatever reason, heavy or low in energy, if in that moment you feel like you can't be with yourself, then how can you hold other people that are in that space? How can you support others who might need that? You know, so this is what it means to be a great leader, is to be able to love yourself, to be self-sufficient and self-sourced at most times. Let's not say, because we are still human and we are all, growing, but 90% of the times we need to be in that space. We need to develop that strong self-love relationship with ourselves. Meaning what? Meaning eating healthy, taking care of our bodies, taking care of our goals and projects and creations and what we are passionate about. Do the things that we really love, and the things that we need, really. It comes from the basic needs all the way to personal goals and accomplishments and things that really makes us excited to be humans. And most people, unfortunately, they don't. So this is why we can also already show up as an example, because if you already do that, you're already leading the way towards a better life. Only that alone is a sign of it can be an inspiration to other people. Okay, so self-love is the first, right? Then the second is inner work or ancestral work. If we don't do that, if we don't face our demons, face our wounding, face our conditioning, our programmings, whatever that is, then what are we what are we actually creating? We are perpetuating the same cycles, and that is what we don't want, right? All this ancestral work stops at us, as in, like, we are the ones who alchemize those processes. We are the ones who say no to the past, to the things in the past that were not in alignment, right? So we as leaders, we have to say no when it comes to tolerating things that are not in the highest alignment of where we want to be and who we want to be in the world. And that comes through many ways. It comes from wounding, it comes from traumas from the past, it comes from ancestral things that we pick up from our father, mother, from our parents in general, from our culture and tradition in society, and even from past lives. Some of us have memories of past lives as well. I had those kind of memories, and I had to sit with those parts of me. And what I mean by that is, like, I used to, like, I had a past life, like 3 years ago or so. I was going through a past life memory in which I was a bad person in that life. I was a king, a bad king, a king that was focused on bad stuff. Like, I will share it right away, like dominance and tyranny, and that's what my past life came up to be. And I'm like, oh my God, am I worthy to be a leader feeling this? Am I actually a good person now in this lifetime because I had that experience? And that memory was so alive that I felt guilt and shame, right? So until you're able to sit with those really deep, uncomfortable feelings of deep shame, unworthiness, whatever that is, then you can't lead, really. Because people in general, people that you are leading in general, they will always go through those kind of emotions in life. And you need to, if you are able to hold yourself and yours, then you can hold them too. And you can help them transmute and alchemize those processes way easier. You understand, you have a different understanding and perspective of how things work. And that is important because we don't want to pass on to future generations what we have been experiencing in general as a collective or personally, individually in our lineages. So inner work is highly important. Okay, we have to have, like I would say, uh, a coach, a mentor, a therapist constantly around us so that we can go and vent to and help us move through the things that we need to move. I have my personal therapist, I have mentors that hold me, and we need that. In order to be a great leader, we need that. We need support ourselves. It's not, we're not leading with tyranny, right? It's not how it works. So the third point that I want to share with you. First, before that, I want to ask you if this resonates, guys. Does this make sense? Is this resonating with you? I want to see in the chat if it does. So please share it. Okay, see that some of you came later a little bit. Maybe not everyone was present from the beginning. Anyway, I trust that it does, and you will let me know later on. Okay, so the third aspect, the third point, which makes us be a great leader is to always be open to feedback. Leaders that are not open to feedback, they are leaders that think that they know everything. And you want to run away from those type of leaders or from that aspect within you that thinks that you know everything. Because we tend to go on that high, I don't know, in that energy of being righteous and being, thinking that we know too much or so much. And we have to always be open for feedback from our community, from our team, from the people that, we are serving in general. We have to always continuously and constantly be open for feedback. Not in a way that is, let's say, optional. It's something that we need to be excited about. How is my service? How is my leadership impacting people? We have to even sometimes ask. If people don't tell us, maybe we need to ask, hey, as I asked you guys, does it make sense for you, right? Everything we are offering, we need to check if the person receives it well so that we can fine tune ourselves and we can grow as people, as leaders, as beings, really, because this is how we grow, through reflection and through fine-tunement and to seeing ourselves through other people perspective, right? Because when you are in your frame, right, when you are if you're if you are in the frame, you cannot see yourself. If you are a painting and you are in the frame, you cannot see yourself unless it's someone looking at you and giving you a reflection. So a great leader always receives that and welcomes that with an open heart. Not from a place of, you don't know better than me. I know what I'm doing. You don't need to tell me. And all of these things, these are not leadership qualities. These are insecurities. When you come from that energy and you are not open for feedback, people stop trusting you. People stop feeling safe around you. Okay? So we need to always be open for feedback, to receive feedback. And even if it doesn't come easily from people, better ask for it. Ask for feedback. Hey, how is this for you? How does, this information make you feel? How does it my service, and what is your experience with my service, whatever we are doing, right? And as well in relationships, it's the same thing. You know, if we are the leaders in our relationship, usually men tend to be the leaders in the relationship. Then we constantly, want the feedback of our partner to know where we are going. I like to see it this way: the man leads, and the feminine, so the masculine leads and the feminine guides, right? I always check with my partner to see that what I'm leading is right, to see that where I'm leading is where she wants to go, right? So it's both in relationship. It's a little bit different in relationship, but also similar, very similar with our work life, and depends on what we are doing. So always be open to feedback. Stay open to feedback and receive feedback, and ask for feedback as well. That is highly important as a leader. That makes you be trustable, first of all, and people see that you're open to grow, you're open to hear them out, and that's not, unfortunately, what most leaders do. They think they know, they think they want to lead the way they think it should be done. But if you don't listen to feedback to see how it impacts people, then what are you actually leading? You're leading your own agenda. It's not how it works. So, fourth point of being a great leader is to relate authentically and transparently. Don't be a boss. Don't be a dictator. Don't be someone that makes people cringe and contract and be in fear around you. Don't invoke anxiety. Invoke freedom, liberation. When people see you, when people hear you speaking, they feel inspired. They feel excited. They feel like, I like to be around this energy. They feel relief, not contraction. They feel expansion, right? So in order to do that is to be as transparent as possible all the time as a leader, and connect authentically with people, not from a place of not from a place of hierarchical systems, right? Like I'm better in my space and in my place. No, relate from a equal level, equality, just be authentic. Be authentic about your experience. Be authentic about what you want to share with people. Be authentic in all your ways and shapes and forms, and transparent. Like that's so important. People feel when you hide something. People feel when you interrupt an information, or you become weird about that, right? And they question your leadership when they see that. So just be fully transparent about your life, your processes, everything. We need that. We need that in the world. Imagine if our leaders of countries, right, presidents, ministers, whatever they are, how do you feel if they relate authentically and have this capacity to be fully transparent? Like, you don't see that. That's impossible. You don't see that. They come with this speech at this time with this agenda, and that's what you know. And you're left in fog. You don't know what happens behind that. So we need to be really approachable, authentic, so that we can relate with people. People feel safe around us when we share ourselves from that place. And that's what we want. We cannot play those cards of being a boss. That's old energy. That's not working. That creates separation, division, hierarchical structures and systems, although there can be a hierarchy, right? Because depends. There is a natural way of in nature where there is hierarchy. I'm not saying that that's not good and we need to dissolve it completely. There is a natural way, right? Like, however, we can give some examples. Let's look at an example of hierarchy in nature that we can see. In the animal kingdom, for example, there's certain predators that eat other animals and so on. So in the plant kingdom as well, there's certain trees that are strong and live longer and powerful, and there's certain plants that are less powerful and and have different functions. So there is a sense of differentiation, but no one, on the contrary, the one who's stronger, the one who's higher in the hierarchy is there to support and offer support, not to be on the ego trip of look at me where I'm at and where you are is not, you're not on my level. And that many times happens in hierarchical systems, in human hierarchical system. And that's an ugly energy, and people feel that, and no one trusts that. Okay. So relate authentically and transparently always. Don't be a boss, don't be a dictator. It's never a good thing. People say assert yourself, be authoritative. You can do that in an authentic way in which you are the master of your craft, and you know that speaks from itself. You don't have to prove it. Leaders wants to prove themselves and assert themselves on top of other people. Run. That's not your leader, and that's not an attribute for you to embody either. It doesn't work. That's fear-based. That's what we already experienced. So, all right. So the fifth point of being a great leader is realizing that service is your highest joy. If service is your highest joy, if you get like high on the idea that you are at service to something greater in this world, whatever you're serving, you can be serving people to, I don't know, find their purpose, serving people to heal from the past, serving people to, in whatever way, shape, and form, service is what actually a leader is. A leader is more like a servant than a leader. Funny, because we think that the leader is, in power and can take decisions and make decisions. Yes, but that is because he's a good server. If you're not a good server, if you cannot serve your community and your people in your house and your family, how can you be a leader? What are you leading? Right? So service has to be your highest joy, period. You have to, for me, when I'm thinking of service, like, it's like I just love doing it. I can do it for money, I can do it for free, I can do it for thousands of dollars, I can do it for no dollars at all. It doesn't matter. The idea of it, it's what gets me going. I love serving. I love supporting. I love empowering. Have that in place. If you don't feel like you like service and you like to help people, then maybe look at yourself and serve yourself first, to the point where, as I shared in the beginning, you are in an overflow. Because naturally, when we are in overflow, we tend to serve, we tend to give that away because we have enough. We cannot carry more than we have, you know? So when we have, then of course we give, we share it abundantly with other people. And then we get more, and then we share more. It's a natural giving, receiving cycle. But as a leader, you have to come first from this energy of, I am a server, I am giving, I have things to give. You don't focus on receiving. That's self-service, and that you should give yourself to yourself. But if it's if you're here to be an actual leader, you are focusing on giving and serving, and that is your excitement. To be a giver is an honor, because life and creation and God chose you for that reason, to share the knowledge of life, to share the good things in life, to share what is great, what you consider to be great for the highest good of all. That is an honor. And not many people can do it. This is why we need great leaders in this world, especially now in these crazy times. So either you're in a company, either you're leading a community, either you're leading just your own business, really, and your family and your partner, and just be, the focus is giving, and that's, you only give because you have. You don't give because you don't have. Or sometimes you give because you don't have either. I sometimes do that. I give when I don't have, I give. And then I connect with that energy. But it takes strength to be able to do that, you know. And then you feel like, oh, my cup is full. But then that can be a codependency dynamic as well, where you give so that you get fulfilled by the giving. And it's a fine line, okay? But yeah, these are the points. I'm gonna share them with you, especially those who came later. Again, so how to be a great leader. One, self-love. You have to be able to love yourself. You have to be able to fill your cup and always give from your overflow, not from sacrifice energy. And you have to be able to create that connection with yourself first, to be the best, your best friend. Second, inner work or ancestral work. You have to be able to transmute that pain and trauma from the past so that you can create from a place of emptiness and allow the creation to flow through you, whatever it wants to flow through you into this world, instead of creating from these old patterns and traumas and perpetuating those cycles. You have to be able to look at yourself and do that work required so that you can show up in a way that your parents couldn't and our ancestors couldn't. Then the third point is to always be open to feedback, because only then you know what mistakes you're doing, what you can improve, what you can outgrow, what you can, fine tune, is when you listen to feedback and not just be open to receive, but also ask for it. Ask people for your feedback. The fourth is relate authentically and transparently, meaning that you are always sharing from a place of what is present with you in this moment. And transparently, you don't hide things. You're not, you're not a trickster. You're not sneaky. You're just sharing authentically and honestly and transparently. People trust you when you do so. Don't be a boss and don't be a dictator in your ways of leading. And because you are the authority. We did that. We know how that is. We did that in the past. We don't need to repeat what doesn't work. And the fifth one is service is your highest joy, right? So you have to really feel excited about being at service, because again, that's what a leader is. A leader is a servant. It's a servant to its community, to its family, to the highest good of all, to life in general. And it's an honor to be able to be in that place. If life chose you, it's because you have certain gifts and qualities that are needed by your people. And trust that, feel that, and be grateful for it and share it with them. That's it. This is the five things that for me are important in order to be a great leader, that I learned through life and through my people, mentors as well. Feels like it's a standard. Now I want to invite you guys to chat with me, to let me know where you are in this journey, what explorations you want to dive into, what questions you might have. I'm opening the space for that. Okay. So let's see. Whoever wants to share, just turn on your mic, maybe share your video as well, and let's dive into it. All things leadership. Let's go. You can also share your you can also share your question in the comments in the chat. Chitan says, any recommendations of books on this topic? Interesting question. I actually didn't learn this through books, so I don't know what to recommend. I definitely have some mentors and some people that I listen to podcasts and stuff like that too. But it feels like this ability of leadership, it was my personal journey to develop. So yeah, I don't have a direct recommendation on this, to be honest. I feel like we are still all navigating this and exploring it as we go in a big way, collectively. And I get a question also, could you also share 5 points in chat as well? Yeah, I'm gonna share them now. 1 second. Boom. There you go. Okay, who else wants to share? Cody, let's see. I'm at a place where my passion for service is being contrasted with my expectations for where how I am meant to be of service. Mhm. What exactly do you mean by being contrasted? Challenged, maybe? I think I want to get that part right. Okay, so I'm at a place where my passion for service is being contrasted with my expectations for where how I meant to be of service. That's your personal expectations that you're speaking of? Or someone else's expectations? Uh-huh, I hear you. Okay. I totally been through that process as well. It makes sense. Now it makes sense. Okay. So, and what you want to explore? What is your question, or if you have any specific reflection that you want on this? You can speak. Yeah, yeah. Unmute yourself, brother. Let's go.
Hi, I've got a little bit of a time here before I hop in with another client, but did you ask a question for me?
Uh, I wanted to know where you are in the process, if you have any question or a specific way of, dealing with this. What is your question?
I think I was just sort of voicing where I'm observing myself to be because I recognize this moment of my experience as transitionary. And there's just this deepening acceptance of detachment from any kind of way I was visualizing myself to be of service. And in that is just it's been uncomfortable, but it's been wonderful at the same time. And so I'm just sort of in that place where it's been kind of ebbing and flowing between acceptance and uh, just really, just the layers of acceptance. And I'm literally in the middle of a move right now. I've got some jobs that are shifting away, and so I'm just sort of, yeah, it's interesting to be able to just watch the transition happen, to have that perspective and just be like, okay, I can't rush this, just be patient and kind to myself and understand that you're in it, and you'll land, and it will all be very clear where you're supposed to be. So yeah.
That man, you basically just shared where I'm at as well. Like I'm
Wow.
literally I'm moving this weekend and I'm shifting jobs, like some jobs as well, not all jobs, because I have many things that I'm doing. And that's where the process and I'm like just looking in wonder how beautiful reflection is here. So
Oh.
and I can I can share from my journey that there's always times like that, transitioning times like that, when we have to surrender the way we do things, and maybe there's an upgrade. And I call this an exploration and observation phase, right? Where we are kind of refining a little bit who we are, what we do, or it doesn't, many times it's an upgrade that we don't see
Mm.
that comes on the corner while we're moving into a new place, or whatever we are transitioning into. So yeah, it's I feel like our soul knows that what we need is just to be present and
Mm.
show up, and we know what we know, but we don't know what we don't know. So let's sit with that and go through it, and then it becomes even better and bigger and makes sense, and then bam, we are kicking it again. And
Mhm.
in that process, I still, not to call it, I still show up with what I know is it was real until that point. In the past I used to let it go completely and do
Mm.
nothing, like really surrender fully and do nothing, and just be a little bit more anxious, like what's happening? I thought I know what I'm doing. I thought I know where I'm going. Seems like something is moving here and I don't know what to do. Now I'm like so much relaxed, and I'm just um how to call it, uh yeah, I'm just sure of the things that I am, the things that I'm of the things that I know, basically. I'm so sure about those things, I don't question them. And then I'm only asking, is there more? How can it be even better? Is there something more? And I go with the trust that the next phase is gonna, show me uh more and give me more, in that sense. Like
Mhm.
whatever upgrade, whatever new reflections, new perspectives I have on my gifts, on my things, on my life, on how I serve, how am I a service. So if you manage to relax fully, then surrender, that's perfect. And then, but still trusting your abilities.
Mhm.
That's
Ab-
what, yeah, that's what the challenge was for me in these times. To still trust while being in a complete polishing phase. But the diamond is polishing, you're still trusting that you are a diamond in a way.
Mhm. Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Mm, awesome. Um, all right. This was a nice reflection. Let's see. Who else? Let's take another person in. Who else wants to join and share where they are? All things leadership, all things growth, all things uh being at service, purpose, creation. Let's dive in it, guys. Another person. Can be challenges, it can be successes, inspirations, whatever is alive for you right now. Oh, I just see a comment. I didn't see this. Okay, so Edmund says, I've got a life-changing idea for my country. It's a revolution, and I desire to know how to get along. It feels like so much responsibility on me, and I feel alone in this because I fear for it to be stolen. Um, One thing comes up, which is that there's nothing to be stolen. Like, I mean, we're all co-creating, and that's also another thing that it's valuable to share, is that there is no competition. Like God's gifts or the creations or the universe, however we call it, gives you what is already yours in a way, what is already, there's nothing that cannot be stolen from you. So there's no I don't understand why like, where is this energy of being stolen comes from? You know, there's so many ideas there in the quantum field that you can tap into and get, and it's all for free for you to bring into this reality. So I feel that there's a little bit of perspective here that can be maybe shifted. So if you want to share, uh, where do you think this energy comes from? Like, uh, that it can be stolen. And if it's going to be stolen, then what? Then that person who steals it, maybe they do a greater job. That's also something that happens in life. I've saw I I had ideas and downloaded ideas, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I actually saw someone doing that, the same thing I do, and they did it better than I would ever do it. And they were in a place more advanced, and I was actually happy for that. I was like, okay, then that means I don't have to do it anymore. Someone else took my idea and brought it into reality. Great. So that can be a perspective, but I want to know, why do you fear to be stolen? If you want to inquire and give an answer, that would be great. If not, no worries, but maybe question that a little bit. Oh, bye, Cody. Thank you, brother. I check your message and get back to you. Awesome. So, Edmund, do you want to share? Let me know. You can also come online and unmute yourself and dive deeper into it. Meanwhile, is there anyone else who wants to share where they are in their leadership journeys, in your creation journey? Okay, let's see. Edmund answered. When I was much younger, I wrote a book. It was all my doing, all my idea. And there was this guy who read my work and loved it. He promised to help, and he had the opportunity than I did, and he had to edit my work. A year later, he published my book in his name. Oh, wow. Whoa. Huh. I hear you. And this touches me on a level, on a deeper level. Why? Because I'm writing a book. I mean, I wrote a book for the last 8 years, and I'm about to publish it this year. That's the plan. So it felt like I was I was imagining myself being on the end of what you experience, and that's intense. Indeed, that's frustrating. Um, and I think like that person should be kept accountable. And I don't know if, there's a movie that I saw on this topic. I don't remember the name of the movie. It was really powerful. It was the same. It was someone found a book, but they found it, they didn't steal it. They found it and they created a story as if they are the writer, but they were not. Mhm. I see. Um, well, I guess if someone can move forward with your idea, it depends on the idea. If the book is personal, if it's a personal story and someone steals it from you, that's not cool at all. That's your story, right? That's your journey, and someone pretends to be you. That is also what part of my book is. That would make me really angry if someone would do that. Now, if it's a general idea, like let's say like this topic that I'm bringing today, how to be a great leader. This is a general idea. You guys can take these 5 things and do your own thing. I don't want you to do that, but if that's what you feel, I cannot stop you. I don't have copyright on these 5 things that I share with you today. So you can teach this basically further. And I'm excited because the message goes forward, right? So on many levels, it's good. But if you pretend that you invented this, that will bother me, obviously. And this is why it feels like it happened to you. They took your idea, right? You hired this person as an editor and they took it as if it's theirs. They saw the value in it and they used it. And on some level, that happened to me as well. But it's on a different level, okay? But this is what I'm seeing. Like they took maybe your idea and they started to share it as if they would be theirs. That is not cool. That is, they have to at least ask for permission or speak with you about it. So that feels like stealing. And in this case, if there's nothing you can do about it, it's quite hard, right? So I would say that if there is something you can do about it and prove that that is your idea and show that that was not cool what he did, and maybe first you can sue that person. That's always like such an intense process, to involve the government in this. But that's one thing you can do. Or if you can let it go of the idea and take the lessons you learned from it and through it, then maybe you can also let it go and then just start fresh with something else. Be grateful for whatever this situation brought you to your awareness, because I think there's many things that obviously you can learn from this, right? Even how how when we are victims of something, then there's a lot of lessons there as well. So yeah, how you responded to it, how maybe shows your level of forgiveness and moving on, so that you don't carry that with you. Because if you carry that energy of of how to call it can be disappointment, it can be like you feel betrayed. That's a heavy energy to carry that no one deserves to receive, right? So it's a fine line on when do you either take action, you know to keep this person accountable for what they did in whatever way, shape, and form, or let it go, because this energy of being betrayed and that something and someone steals from you is just gonna replicate more if you don't manage to alchemize and be back into neutrality with it. So this is what I'm seeing here. I hope this makes sense. Thank you for sharing. This is really powerful. I like that. I like that it was, it felt like it was moving me deeply, and I could reflect on my own process. What would that happen? What would that be if it would happen to me? So yeah, these things can happen. So right, that's this contrast. Contrasts always are a big learning curve if we manage to uh, to take the gems from it and move on. If we're not, then we can also dwell in them and be stuck in them. Let me know if this makes sense, Edmund, if this was helpful in any way. And thank you for sharing your journey with us. Okay, anyone else wants to share? We have 5 minutes more. If someone wants to share where they are in their leadership journey, in their creation journey, please unmute yourself and speak, or share it in the chat. Edmund says it's Africa, justice favors the rich. It's depressing things a lot. It was a process healing, and that's why I find it difficult to share ideas to just anyone. Oh, I see. Yeah. I haven't been to Africa. My partner is from South Africa, and she told me many stories of how the economic systems of Africa works and how all of these things that you say yeah, that are simply unfair and unjust. So that's unfortunate, I guess. Sorry. Um, yeah, I guess I can see why it was a process healing that for sure. Thank you for sharing, Edmund. That's vulnerable to share. All right, guys. So I see that no one else shares. I trust that you guys are complete and you received today a lot and you felt inspired and ready to step more into your leadership and trust yourself and develop a a good relationship with yourself. That is very key again to to reach that place where you can call yourself your best friend and you can show up no matter what for yourself. That is so important on this journey of being a leader. The most important thing, start from there, and all other things that I mentioned will kind of fall naturally into place. And then you can check and see where you are on the journey as you move on. All right. Have a beautiful rest of the week, everyone. Much love. Peace.